Okay guys, sorry I started videoing and didn't get my microphone on, so I'm going to walk you through the little bit of part you missed. It's 2.5 inches across, at least by 10 inches. And you're going to put the score lines down, so you're going to have the 2.5 inch part across the top. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, 1 1/8, 1 3/8, 1 1/2, and then 2. Okay, and then you're going to cut them the 5-inch side, or you can, hold them against one of your cards and cut them, however that works for you. Then I'm going to take another piece of Tyvek, and I am paying attention this time as to which side I'm gluing it on. So I'm leaving the shiny side out, and we glued this one down, and I might as well take the sticker part off and glue down this one. I'm using the art glitter glue because the Barely art glue doesn't seem to like working on Tyvek. So if you don't use Tyvek much or at all, then that glue will work great for you. Okay, I've got it on the correct side. Don't need to do that mistake again. Okay, and then we're just going to, as long as you are covering up all of the score lines, and leave yourself a good little bit after the last score line as well. Make sure that glue is getting all the way to the ends, and just spread that glue around really well. Okay, again, I'm not sure this is gonna work, but that got gooey stuff on there. This needs to get cleaned very badly. I had a wonderful dinner with my husband and my oldest son, and my daughter and my grandson called. So, it's just a lovely day. Just a lovely day. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and let this one dry, and this one should be pretty well dry. So now I'm going to fold my fold lines, and once you have attached probably would be easier once you've attached this to go ahead and score it again. So let's see, let me cut off the white bits here. So that I can put it up against the score, the threshold up here, or whatever you call it. Let's see. Okay, so again, we're going to score at the 1/2 inch mark, at the 1 inch mark, at the 1 1/8, 1 3/8, 1 1/2, and the 2. Okay, so that gives you all your score lines. And I'm going to go ahead and do it to this one. I've already cut this. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1/8, 1 3/8, 1 1/2. It's crawling off the table. And 2. There we go. So those are done. All right, now this one I think was still the first one. So let's go ahead and fold all of these score lines. And I'm trying to think which one which way. Okay, so the 1/8 of an inch score line, I'm going to get it started up here, line my paper up and give it a good hold, That Tyvek does want to slip, so you really got to give it a good hold. And then just pull from your fingers from the back into your thumb in the front, and you'll get that 1/8 of an inch score line. Super easy. Now we're going to score the 1/4 inch and do the same way. Line that paper up. Take a moment and make sure you've got it lined up well. And there we go. And then we're going to get that 1/8 of an inch. Take a moment. Line the paper up across the top well. And then pull the thumb into your back fingers, or the back fingers into your thumb, however you find it the easiest to do. So let's burnish those lines that we have. You can burnish them as you go, or be a dummy and not do it as you go, and you'll have to go back and do it. All right. And then the last little 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I didn't get this 1/2 inch one over here. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our page, our signature page, or whatever you want to call it, our waterfall. That's it. We're going back to our waterfall. We are going to take this center 1/4 inch section, and I'm going to fold everything down just so I have the center 1/4 inch section up on the top, and I'm going to put glue on there. Oops, I ended up letting that dry a little bit. There we go. And we're going to put glue and we're going to glue it directly to the 1/4 inch we have on our book. Make sure you've got it nice and straight. Let's open this up and open this up and burnish. Okay. So I am going to let this dry. Make sure we've got our 1/8 of an inch not being compromised on either side. A little bit of glue coming out. All right, so we're going to let that dry. Set it up where you're not putting pressure on it. And I did not build my next one yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, build this one out. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want me to do this? Maybe I will do it for you one more time because it is a little different. So I'm going to fold the 1/4 inch gusset to the back. So I can just work on this top side here. Get your hinge on your first one. Oops. Now we're going to put it all the way to the edge with the hinge. The hinge end is the first one, goes right against the hinge. Make sure you're getting it lined up and right to the edge. You don't want to be able to see the hinge. You want it to look like it's all one piece. So not like it's hidden behind it. Just right up, both of them at the same level. Give it a little burnish. Open it up. Give it a little burnish. Okay, the next one. Glue. And it's going to face, here's the folded end here. And here is our, let me put something, here is the edge. And we're going right to the edge of this top hinge part. Make sure these two are lining up properly. Needs to come over just a smidge. There we go. Let me make sure that it is lined up on there well. Yes. And burnish. If you have to finagle it a little bit to make it lay down perfectly this way and you end up with a little bit hanging over of the actual hinge that we're gluing onto, you can clip that off. Because it is very important that these are all laying down as nicely as you can get them. You know, they're never going to be perfect, and that's all right. There was only one perfect person in this world, and we weren't them. Oops, sticker. So yeah, this is just in case you guys were wondering. I got these from Michael's. It's the Recollection brand. I'm sure they still sell them, but I've had these for quite some time. All right, fold this puppy up. And we're going to there we go. All right, so now this next one, we are going to, okay, I just confused myself. So I'm going to butt it up. I did it a little differently last time, but you can look at both of them and see which way you like to do it. I'm butting it up next to the edge, this side of our hinge that we're gluing onto. And I'm butting the waterfall piece up to the edge, this edge, but on this one. And then I'm just going to fold it over. Now I want to make sure that I'm lining up properly, and then I'm on top to bottom even. And I have my side. Now, if you're just using cardstock, it really won't matter. But I have my side, fancy side up on this one. Okay. Next one. Okay. Oops. We're going to put glue on it. You know, every time you do these, you come up with a little better way of doing it, blah, blah, blah. So now I've got fancy side up. You can also just do this with cardstock. I mean, with your designer papers. There's no reason why, unless it's just really thin. But if it's a good quality designer paper, you can do this directly with your designer paper. Now remember, do not get it right into your score line. Leave yourself a little bit of room. Line it up this way, most importantly, and burnish it down. And you want to make sure that it's not getting into this score line. Okay, so there we go. Now we're done with that flap on the left side of your 1/4 inch gusset. Now we're going to work on the right side flap. So we have 4 more of these suckers. Okay. I'm trying to make them exactly the same, so I'm following along in my first one. So we're having some glue again. Up to but not over the score line. Stay away from the score line. We should just all of us put that on a button we can push, like laughter. Stay away from the score line. Stay away from the score line. Also, flip some of your pages over. Make sure that you are lining up properly with that. Then see what it did. So we're still out of the score line, but we're lining up properly. All right. Flip it over. And get another one. Okay. And now this time we're going all the way to the edge of our flap after our gusset, the same piece that has the gusset on it. All the way to the edge. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yes. Yes. I confused myself again. It's very easy. Very easy. Okay, all the way to the end so that you can't see it. Come on, get there. Make sure we're nice and straight with the other ones, and then burnish down. Open it up. Okay, and then we're going to take our flap, get our gusset, and push the gusset to the bottom. Give it a little burnish to help it stay there. And then we have our last 2 waterfall pieces. Sticker! We got just a sticker. Okay. So, now, flip this around. Let's put some glue on this. Probably easier to do it like I did this time instead of last time. I'm going to put some glue on your side that you want that's pretty. Let's bend this back, butt it up to the end of the flap that has the gusset on it, and then just fold it over. Make sure you're looking good out to the side, and burnish. Let's flip this back over just to make sure we didn't get any spillage out this back side, and that looks good. Okay, and then our last one gets, burnish. Get some glue on this puppy. See, it doesn't take very long. And we're going to go all the way to the end, which is going to put us right on the edge of the gusset. Make sure we're nice and straight. All the way to the end. You can look at it from the back as well. Once you've got it in place. Boinish it, boinish it. Try not to hit that glass so hard, because I know some of you, it bothers your ears. It bothers mine. Okay, so there is our second one. All right, so now we're going to go back to this because I believe it has dried. And the first thing we're going to do is put glue See, do I want to use some score tape? Let's take a 1/4 inch score tape or an 1/8 of an inch, not anything that's going to go over the score line. You know, I think I'll use the 1/8 because this 1/4 inch goes just over those score lines and I want to be able to fold them nicely. So I'm going to put one piece down the 1/4 inch center gusset. So one piece of this. Now, if all you have is 1/4 inch, I would say just don't do it. If it's going to go over your score line, just leave it off. If you can cut up the side, you'll need 2 of them anyway. You can cut right up the center of your 1/4 inch score tape and just keep the other piece for your other side because we're going to have to do this twice. Okay, and then I want to burnish. Let's go ahead and take that off if I can do it without my... All my nails are past the skin and it drives me nuts. I cannot wait till they grow out again. Oh, I don't know why they all broke off, but they did. Probably because I'm gardening and stuff like that. I'm not just doing my regular stuff, so I'm being a little harder on them. All right, so now I'm putting glue on the 1/8 of an inch sections. Don't go anyplace else, just the 1/8 of an inch sections. Oh no, wait a minute. Poodle head. No. Yeah, no. We don't want to do that. Okay, erase, take the glue off. Where did I put my little, here it is. And I'm going to put this back on because I think I am going to, before we go any further with this, I think I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the book. Put my pin back in my glue. Okay. Is that what I want to do? Well, I'm not going to insert it into the book. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of stitches in here. You can do stitches or you can do brads because there's plenty of room in here. So if you want to do brads, why don't we do brads? I think most people don't really like doing stitching, especially the people that are more into mini albums, which is, since that's what I'm making, now I have a strip. This is the first one that I cut that didn't work out. So I think I can just cut it. Where's my pencil? It's not always easy, but I'm going to measure this side from the edge to the edge because I want it to cover all that white. And then I'm going to do it here as well, edge to edge. And then, there we go. Let's put this in and match up those lines, edge to edge. Let's see. Okay, that works. That gets in there. I'm going to flip it over though. There we go. All right. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to go ahead and put this in with the other waterfall. Brads that I want to use. Let's see. Do I have my box of them up here somewhere? I don't think I do. I have so many different things in different places right now, working with the Etsy shop that yeah. Okay, so these are my browns and brassy and copper ones. So I'm going to try and find, let's see. I'll try and find some brown ones. Do I like that brown? That's a little too non-fancy. That's a nice one. So I think it's more of a bronze that I'm working with. I think those are 3 of the same, and then I'll need 3 more of those. So let's see. There is another one. There's another one. And nope, that's not one. Oops. I just dropped one. Yeah, oh, there it is. And here's one. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 3 and 3. Put these all back. Through the years, I have gotten myself quite a few little different jobbies here. I think on the Etsy shop, I thinned my groupings out a little bit because I got so many. So I think I made little grab bags so you get all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I need to stop that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little glue on this, slide it in. Because remember, we put these all the way down to the score line, but not into the score line. So I am going to go ahead and put this down, and it's score line to score line. All right. Maybe it was this way, because this way is not. There we go. Okay, let's get okay. Really giving it a good burnish so that that is going to take hold, although we will have our brads in there. Okay, so let's make sure that we're going to fold down okay. Nope, I made it too wide. Too wide. Let's pull this out. Let me see if I can just cut off, whoops. I don't know where that little puppy came from, where I can just cut off this one little strip. We're going to see if I can do it. Okay, that looks pretty even. I think I did pretty well. Now that's going to leave a little bit of a white edge, but it is going to work for. So let's take a black marker and run it right along the edge of your waterfall piece. Just be really careful you don't jump up on it. You will be able to hide it somehow, but I'm using my left hand now just to show you it's really not that hard if you just take your time. Okay. Always have a black Sharpie marker. Always. They are so awesome. Okay. Now, we're going to re-glue this yet again. Okay. And place it down in the center, in between your 2 score lines. So hopefully you got it at that size. And then let's burnish that down. And let's see. Oh yeah, much better. Much better on the folding. They just lay right down so slicker than you want. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of pull that extra glue off of there with whatever tool you've got to make it work. I think I just knocked something on the floor that I needed, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so I have 1, 2, I think that's what it was one of my brads. Wah! And of course, I have good light here, but I don't really have good light anywhere else. So, I'm going to have to pull another brad, but for right now, we'll just use one of these. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and take my pokey tool and, you know, just eyeball your center. If you don't want to eyeball it, take a, see, I'm going right through that score tape, which is fine. If you don't want to eyeball it, just take a ruler and make some marks where you want to put your brads. Run the brads through. Make sure that they're not going to go over the score line, so have them run vertically instead of horizontally. And then do one up in this area, let's see, about 1/4 inch from the top. Stick your brad in there. And there we go. And then same down here, about 1/4 inch from the bottom. All right, and then it probably is better if you make sure everything is dry before you are doing this, but you know, for time and so forth, that one doesn't want to turn for me, so just use one of your tools and make it happen. Make it happen. Okay, let's lift this up. Push that down. Okay, now we are ready to finish this part. So we're going to take this, just kind of, let's flatten that back down again. Okay, so now we're going to take some glue on our 1/8 of an inch. On both sides, and you're going to fold that 1/8 of an inch over, just the 1/8 of an inch. So this is going to be a little twiddly, and that's another reason why you need to make sure I'm pushing this 1/8 of an inch in. This will be a little fiddly, but you can get it. Trying to make sure I'm not putting glue back on my paper. Okay. Okay, so that's probably not going to hold until we do the other piece. So let's get our 1/4 inch tape and put it right next to the 1/8 of an inch line. And I'm going to kind of hurry this along before my glue dries on both sides Anything that sticks over, you can cut off. And then I'm going to put another piece on top where I can get it all that whole 1/2 inch covered with score tape. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take off the first piece we put down. Burnish it a little bit there, girl. Come on. Okay, there is the first one. Burnish the other one down a little bit and take it off. Cut off anything or fold it over, whichever works for you the best. Push in that 1/8 of an inch. Let's get this one off. That first one off first. So the first one you put down is the one you want to take off first. And then the second one. Okay. So now the big thing is you want to make sure that those 1/8 of an inches are getting down onto that 1/4 inch. And just keep fiddling around with it till you get it where you want it. Okay. My little dog was looking for me, so my husband's letting him in. So there we go. That's going to be something that's going to allow our flap to sit pretty. It's kind of hard to get this. Just take your time. My husband left his door open and my door, so now you can hear his TV. Okay. Oh, noisy, noisy, noisy. Let's see. Little housekeeping. Housekeeping. Clean up everything. I gotta find my other 3 brads. Okay, so I hope you kind of see now how this, so I'm going to put it in the center one. This one's going to go into the center. Yeah, I'm not going to like that though. Am I? It's going to have to be cut down some. Yeah, because it definitely, this last 1/2 inch piece is going to have to be cut down some. Because as you bend it, the other one goes even wider, obviously. So that will have to be cut down. Does this one by itself fit in there? All right. No. So they both are going to need to get cut down a little bit, probably to 1/4 of an inch. But you do want to make sure that you see how I've got the Tyvek there. So that's going to be very helpful when we do put this in here. And we're going to use brads again as well. So that will work. But we'll be putting that right into the center here, which is going to help hold all of this together as well as put these in. But then you're going to have that 1/2 inch, which is going to allow this to lay up on top of this and flip over nicely as well. So you'll be able to look at everything. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. And it'll go that way. Okay, yeah. It's not really did what I wanted it to do on the 1/8 of an inch. That didn't work out too well, but I'm not going to change it. I've got some of that white paper showing, so I'm getting my black marker out and seeing if I can get rid of that white paper. The little black edging here will just disappear. Oh yeah, that works nicely. Just try not to get it on your paper. Just kind of sticking it in that little groove there. And then right down the edges. There we go. And then these, we can just open them up. And just give these a little color on the end. And then they won't show. Okay. Again, always have one of these. Okay, so that is going to work out for us. And I'm going to cut this down to 1/4 of an inch. And I probably won't work on this one. Let's see. Can I get it in there? There we go. Ooh. No, that didn't work very well at all. That didn't work out very well at all. So don't do that. I think it will still work for me, but it's going to look funky. Dang it. Probably going to have to do that one all over again, because I don't like that. Or maybe I can just put another glue 1/4 of an inch on there, and you won't be able to see it once it's down. That's probably what I'll have to do. Because you see how that cut? This is much wider than down here, and I like this thickness better than this thickness. This is more like yeah, this is almost a little over 1/4 inch, and this one is like 3/16. So it's slightly less than 1/4 of an inch. So there's not a huge amount of difference, but I mean, trying to put a brad in this little piece versus this piece, it's gonna, yeah. So I'm gonna add another little sheet of paper on top of that one, and that'll just make it that much stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the other one. I think even though the little 1/8 of an inch things didn't work out quite the way I wanted them to, I think they're needed. I was hoping that they would kind of flatten right down onto the gusset. But they're not. Maybe if I stuck a little glue down in there and held them for a little while. Maybe. I don't think these will help too much, but I can try so that I don't have to sit here and hold them. Okay, so if I put that one right up to the edge and this one right up to the edge. There we go. Now, put a little glue on this side and do the same thing. Put this one right up there. And this one right up there. Okay. So I'm going to let those dry. Oh, and then we've got this got a little bent out of shape. Okay. All right. So there's that one. find the center here. We're going to cut a piece that's going to be small enough to fit into between. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? Didn't put it away. In between the two fold lines. So it's going to be pretty small. And again, in between the two fold lines. Get your paper cutter. Stick those fold lines out. Stick the fold lines. Get your edges. Okay. I would get my pen and just run it right You're going to color in. This side was a little further away from the score line than this side. So I had to do a little bit more marking on it. And the Tyvek sucks this ink up. And then just make sure you're past the score line. And I would also say do the edges. And while we're thinking about it, oh, where is my other one? Here it is. While we're thinking about it, let's go ahead and black the ends of the Tyvek. Much, much, much easier. And by the time we go to use it, it will be dry. Okay, so let's stick our paper down in here. And that did not get cut very straight. So and then I cut that in half. Okay, well I need another sheet of paper then. Oh, doggone it. Let's see. Do I have another piece that is long enough? I do not. So I am going to cut a piece that I think will work off of this paper. And let's see how I did. Oh, yeah, that's going to be right between that score line. Very good. And then I'll cut the edge off. I'm going to go ahead and put glue. Okay, let me get my... Because I put way too much glue, of course. And if you've got some black that has come off, just take your time and mark it in again. Like I said, this Tyvek absorbs this ink, so you might have to do it a couple of times. There we go. And I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Okay. So there's that part. And then we are going to, let's see, we really at this point only need to fold the 1/8 of an inch pieces. Okay, so there's that, and those are going to fold in, so we're going to fold this 1/8 of an inch in towards the quarter, line it up, squeeze it down the score line, and burnish. And again, this side, line up with across the top and squeeze your score line into place. Okay, so now those are going to be much more interested in going flat instead of staying open a little bit. Okay. All right, so now let's get our 1/8 of an inch score tape and run it down the center. Well, we could actually glue this down first and put our brads, and then put our score tape over the brads. I think I like that better. So let's go ahead, and this is the outside of our waterfall. Lay these two on a nice surface. I shouldn't really be working on my book. I'm going to go ahead and remove the book for right now. And there we go. Thank you, honey. Okay. It's Mummy's Day and my baby boy wanted to see me. Hi, sweet pea. Yes. Little visitation from Hooch. He was a good boy today. Hey, sweet pea. I wish I could. Oh, yeah. He's tearing it up. What else is new? He's like a big horse. He's like a big horse. Yes, you are. Mommy loves you. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, though. You want to smell over here? Huh? Come here. Come here. You going to get over here? You let people see how big you are now? Yeah. Come here. Come. What's this? What's this? There's his nose. He's a good boy. You got on camera. You're a star. A star is born. Sorry, guys. Okay, Hooch, you stay down now. Let me finish this. Okay, guys, so burnish that. Make sure it's staying where you want it to stay. Now I'm going to check these and see how they're holding up. A little dried glue came out. Get that out of the way. Yeah, that's looking better. That's looking better. I think I'm going to leave it for a little bit longer. Just going to pinch these puppies. Whoopsie. Flipper. Flip right out of my hand. Okay. There's that one. And that one. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a minute. Okay. Now, open this up. Let's burnish again, just to make sure that we really got that nice in there. Now, I have 2 brads and I need one more. I never did find that other one. And of course, I'm looking for a brown brad on a brown floor, so that's never very good. And I do wear glasses, so it's never very good. So let's find us another one here. Right there. Actually, this one is different. This one is the one I want. Okay, come to Mama. That's another, oops. That's another one. No. Yeah, those will work. Those will work for me. I think I'll leave those out. Okay, so again, we're going to take our pokey tool. I don't know where my, oh, here's my favorite pokey tool. About 1/4 of an inch down. It would be better if I get my little board out. Ah, here it is. My little pokey tool board. That way it doesn't bend. Let's go into it just a little bit deeper. Put the bread in there. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to do this, and I am going to have to cut off a little bit. All right, I'm going to have to cut off a little bit of this because it is hanging over the edge. So there's that one. And we're going to do one in the center. Right about here. Let's get it a little deeper. And